Guys, a lot is currently happening to South Africa. South Africans, you have not seen anything. This is just the beginning. Preamble. Nigeria and Ghana met at the ECOWAS summit, and in fact, the Vice President of Nigeria, Shetima, said something during the ECOWAS summit about South Africans and their xenophobic attacks on Nigerians and other Africans in their country. And also, you all know that the President of of Ghana also said something about the xenophobic attacks by South Africans on Ghanaians residing in South Africa. So now they are petitioning South Africa to the AU and also to the UN. This time around, two countries against South Africa, they cannot withstand it. They cannot withstand it. They are asking for the immediate arrest of JACINTA and her gang, and also for South Africans to pay dearly for everything that their people have done to their citizens, not just to Ghana and Nigeria alone, but to all other African countries. This is too much for South Africa. At this point, it seems we have to put down so many candles, red, yellow, green candles, white candles together to say a prayer for South Africa, because they are about to get into a deep trouble, like what they cannot even come out of. And this will prompt other countries in Africa to start boycotting them. Let's take a look at some of the videos, and please kindly share the video, like the video, and subscribe.
On Afrophobic attack in South Africa, this type of intolerance is unacceptable. South Africa should be reminded, while we tread the path of moderation, South Africa needs to be reminded that the freedom the country currently enjoys is due to the liberation efforts of African countries such as Nigeria and Ghana. They should learn to work where their problem lies. Their problem does not lie with fellow Africans who are there to sell their skills.
That is the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima. He's talking about the ongoing xenophobic and Afrophobic violence taking place in South Africa. He is saying that South Africa should not underestimate the moderateness of African leaders when it comes to the response that they have taken against South Africa in regard to the attacks of African citizens who reside in South Africa. He is also saying that South Africa needs to be reminded on how they got their independence. It was the collectives of several African nations that led to the liberation of South Africa. He also said that South Africans need to be educated on where their problem lies, that Africans are not the problems of South Africa, that South Africa needs to identify its own problems and solve it. You see, the Vice President has spoken the minds of majority of Africans. The rest of Africa knows what the problems of South Africa, but only South Africans have refused to solve their problem, despite them knowing where their problem lies, because they're a bunch of cowards. They refuse to solve their problems because they know where the problem lies, why they're not having jobs, why they're poor, why there is no skill upgrade of their skills, why there are shortages of hospital spaces, why there are shortages of school places, why the wealth in South Africa is not being distributed equitably. They know, but because they're cowards, because they do not have the capacity to engage their colonial masters, they are preying on the weak, and the weak are Africa. You see, an average African would not fight back when they're outside their country. If South Africans cannot do what they are doing to Africans in African country or in Europe or somewhere outside the continent, because this is South Africa, most Africans would just ignore or take the nonsense that South Africans is giving to them. So the Vice President of Nigeria has made it clear that they are being moderate with the response when it comes to South Africa, but they will be discussing this at the African Union meeting taking place in Cairo, Egypt, I think it's October. So South Africans, the head of state of Africa, those from ECOWAS, have spoken. And you know your problem, go and solve your problem. You know where the solution to your problem lies. But because you are being cowards, because you have no heart, you lack the impetus, you lack the audacity to confront your problems, you are blaming African migrants for your problem. I think this is just the beginning of the resolving of the conflict taking place in South Africa by various Africa's head of state. Thank you.
South Africa was right. Ghana is out to get South Africa. Just yesterday, 19th July 2026, the Ghanaian president, John Dramani Mahama, got the backing of ECOWAS. ECOWAS has agreed to support Ghana to petition the African Union to take action against South Africa concerning xenophobic attacks on Ghanaians, Nigerians, and other Africans. Just last week, Wednesday, the presidential spokesperson for South Africa came out to accuse the Ghanaian government of basically trying to isolate South Africa from the rest of the continent. And just yesterday, the president of Ghana got the backing from ECOWAS. ECOWAS is the economic community of West African states. Yeah, just like you have the East African community, you also have ECOWAS for West Africa. Yeah, they have agreed to back Ghana. Yeah, to petition the African Union to take action against South Africa. The message the president of Ghana is trying to send across is that do not treat your fellow African people poorly. He's not saying you don't have the right to defend your country. He's not saying you don't have the right, to protect your country. He's saying stop mistreating people, stop the killing, stop the violence. I think it's a clear message. I support every country or every person that tries to defend their country. And I support every country that defends itself against illegal activities. No two ways about that. But what Africans are complaining about is the violence. It's not the first time. We saw it in 2008. We saw it in 2013, 2019. This happened again. People have lost their lives so many times because of xenophobia. And therefore, this time, countries have decided to say, hey, enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's okay. If people are doing illegal things in your country and you want them out, you have every right. But the violence and the...
Why did you come to our country? Human beings from time immemorial have been very mobile. All of us were created in Africa. Human civilization started in Africa. And then our cousins, the British, migrated and came here. The Chinese migrated and went there. Everybody migrated to somewhere else.
So what is going on between South Africa and Ghana right now is called the PR war. Don't forget, South Africa is blaming Ghana for, other African countries trying to sabotage them. So right now, there's a South African Broadcasting Corporation, the national one, is now pushing a false narrative against Ghana. Don't forget, facts always will triumph over narratives. So without verifying, this South African Broadcasting Corporation decided to come out with the news that there have been 2,000 Ebola cases in Ghana. 2,000 Ebola cases, and the Ghana Health Ministry came out to debunk it, and then later the Broadcasting Corporation decided to come out and apologize. So SL Broadcasting Corporation apologizes for wrongly claiming Ghana has Ebola cases. If they say Ghana have Ebola cases, then tourists and the rest that wants to come here will not come here. So right now they are peddling false news, trying to tarnish our image by claiming there are Ebola cases in Ghana. South Africa, if you say you won't go, our PR strong go. Our PR will be very strong. So it's good thing they've come out to apologize because they know that what they're trying to do is wrong.
Guys, you've seen what is coming for South Africa. You see, the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, with the vice president of Nigeria, Shetima, during the 69th ordinary summit of the ECOWAS authority of head of state and governments that happened in Sierra Leone, came together to discuss about the xenophobic attack. They tabled the matter to the ECOWAS courts and they seek for compensation, and they seek that South Africa be punished dearly for their actions, and even JACINTA and her gang be scrutinized and properly arrested by South African government. Because why should they be alive, or why should they watch and see how JACINTA and her gang are disrupting the peace and unity in South Africa, causing problems, looting people's property, causing a lot of damages for the country? So they are seeking that they should be taken to court and they should pay dearly for everything that they have done to every African residing in South Africa. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please kindly share this video, like this video, and subscribe to the channel.